when you walk around in society, if you want to be seen as an esports athlete, you can always go on to SLT merchandising, buy yourself a esports athlete tag or a cap or a bag. There's a badge to showcase that you're in support of esports in the country. And we see that the game is still paused, so I would like to talk about something else as well, how esports in the country has grown. I think I mentioned this before as well. So Asian Games this year had esports as a promotional title. It just shows how mainstream that esport is getting. And we had a representative from Sri Lanka participate for StarCraft 2, which was really great. And that kind of exposure really brings out and allows Sri Lankan people to actually see that esports is the next best thing or the next big thing. And recently, I think last week, I saw a post where in Poland, they had started a dedicated TV channel just for esports. So that's a 24-hour TV channel just purely for esports. They'll be showcasing different games, having interviews with the top players, panel discussions, and stuff like that hasn't happened until then. So if you're an esports athlete if you're really small, say you're at the age of 9 or 10, getting into esports right now, an amazing time to be alive.
I mean, definitely it's a great time to be into esports. I mean, it has grown so much over the years. I think you probably know how well it has grown, much more than me. I've been here for 2 years, but even in those 2 years, how much it has changed, how many more, like, those days we only saw like 1 or 2 teams dominating every single time, every single title, but now we see, we actually see quite a lot of new teams that have shown their faces, and they're almost on equal terms with most of the other teams as well.
Especially when it comes to Dota, right? Because Dota has been dominated by 2 teams for the last so many years since I have been playing, and that has shifted since last year, right? So we have strong teams like Victoria's Secret coming out from Zyphos, we have Bedtime Samurais, we have Nubalance team Tempest coming out. These are very strong teams. These are not average teams, and these are teams that actually can fight for that #1 spot. And we have seen the top tier players in the country having trouble against this team. It goes to show it's just not skill alone. When it gets to a team game, you need that contribution from the team. You need to have the synergy, you need to have the teamwork, and you need to put the hours of practice that is required. People just don't get good at the... From an outside perspective, gaming might look like just a computer game that you play, but the amount of dedication and work that goes in to being the top in the country is just insane. Like every day, day in and day out, if you log on to your platform and you have some of the top players in your country, in your friend list, you will see them practicing every day in the night, whether it's after work, whether it's after university, or whether it's just at home. You see them playing their individual titles each and every day to become better at the game and to be able to compete at an international standard. And I think Sri Lanka is getting there. We have quite a bit of, if you take in terms of League of Legends, right? So we have Lankan Lions for League of Legends, who is considered one of the top teams in the SCA region. I think they got first or second place in the recent international tournament that was held in the Southeast Asian region, which is, I mean, amazing. Like Sri Lankan League of Legends team being considered #1 in SCA, I mean, that's a lot of pride for Sri Lanka. And in terms of Dota, we have a lot of immortal players coming in. We have some of the top ranked players in SCA in Sri Lanka. So you have top 1,000 players inside the country. And when I say top 1,000, SCA is where there's a lot of esports athletes. So SCA and China has the most amount of esports athletes. So your top 1,000 means you're really good. You cannot get to top 1,000 just by, being average. You need to be really good to be able to get top 1,000 in SCA. So we do have the game getting live. We see the Bristleback in a little bit of trouble. Ricky there with a good body block there, stopping the monkeying going on the Bristleback. So bounty runes are going to get traded, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so it's going to be 2 for 2 each, it looks like. So it looks like TMI, Team Liquor is going to be able to pick up 2, as well as Team Sci-Fi is going to also be able to pick up 2. Really interesting laning coming out from both of these teams, actually, to be honest. I feel like, I think Sci-Fi has a decent lanes, especially with the, once we get into lane and we'll talk about it, but anyway, in the mid lane so far, looks like Tinker is going to start harassing out the Zeus. Just going to start doing those right clicks. I mean, Zeus doesn't really need to right click too much, but with that buff that he did receive, he does do a lot of damage with his right click. So if he does run out of mana, he can still last it. But anyway, in the top lane, it's going to be Enchantress and Sven. Very interesting combination here. It's going to be a melee and a range, but it's going to be against the Shaker as well as the Axia. So it's going to be pretty, it'll come down to how the initiation goes, obviously, but if they catch either of them, especially if the Enchantress gets caught out, he's going to take a lot of damage. And meanwhile, in the bot lane, we do see the Ricky farming over the Bristleback, which is kind of weird. But I guess in this scenario, having both them get a few last hits is not too bad. Bristleback did take a decent amount of damage in that engagement, obviously near the bounty rune, so he doesn't have too much regen to deal with. He does have a lot of mangoes though.
I would have preferred a stout shield, at least one stout shield there to negate most of the physical damage coming out. But having said that, though, mangoes do provide a lot of regen. We see a lot of players doing this when they play heroes like the Ogre even. We see multiple mangoes being picked up going into the lane. And oh, lovely fissure, but not blocking them out. And Axe cannot actually dive under the tower right now. He's still level 2, does not have the call. He used the battle hunger as well as his punch, so he still does not have the call in the lane. So another thing about the Zeus Tinker matchup, right? So we say that Zeus outright counters the Tinker just because of the fact that his ultimate and Aghanim Scepter. But even in the laning stage, right? Why is Tinker strong? Tinker is strong because he's able to deny the range creep while using the laser on the Zeus. So Zeus can actually last hit for the range creep due to his damage buff, as well as use his first skill to get a last hit. So there is no way that Tinker is going to be able to deny this range creep each and every time. In our bottom lane, we do see the first blood going down. I'm not sure how the Ricky went down there. They probably had a dust or something, or he just showed himself way too long.
It looks like he just showed himself in lane for too long. I mean, that level 1 invis just take quite a while to actually make you invisible. So that might have been enough with the Arctic Burn as well as the Monkey King who just hit level 2, getting that Boundless Strike, obviously doing a lot of damage. So definitely going to help them out there.
Top lane, we see a little bit of pressure being put on the Ench as well as this one. It's not too bad for them because even though Axe is strong in this, he's up against a melee carry. Sven inherently is quite strong. He does have a lot of HP to deal with, and he has the Warcry for armor, so and the cleave as well, so he's going to be able to deal a little bit of damage to the Axe in turn as well. So it's definitely not that much of a bad lane for the Sven, but it's definitely not the easiest lane for him. So he needs to play it right. He needs to aggro the creeps to himself and make sure that he does not get caught out when there is a massive creep from his side. So Zeus is quite low on mana. He does have clarity on him. He has decided to hold on to it for the time being, probably because the Tinker will have a rocket readied up. So what you normally do is you bait out the rocket and then use the clarity because of the fact that it takes a very long time to cool down.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of bottle first on Zeus, especially after the buff that he receives. And looks like top lane, he actually managed to get a solo kill onto the Sven here with the axe actually. So might have been quite a bit of misplay. Maybe took a decent amount of damage from battle hunger there, or maybe just was a bit out of position. But either way, looks like Axe is going to have a decent start. But anyway, coming back to the mid lane, what we were talking about just Zeus in general. I mean, getting that Null Talisman gives you so much stats. It gives you a lot of, it increases your mana pool by quite a bit, especially in the early levels. And it gives you the ability to spam. And I mean, getting those last hits to pick up your bottle afterwards is not that difficult, to be honest. So because of that reason, I feel like, just getting the Null Talisman is definitely more value. But in this case, I think Zeus kind of just wants to go with his comfort, just wants to do what he usually does. But so far, other than the top lane and the bot lane, we haven't seen too many kills. We have only seen 2 on the board at the moment. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. So finally, so looks like they are going to make a go on to Ricky here. Winter's Arctic Burn actually being used. They are going to use Blink Strike onto the
strike and one more right click, and he does get it. That was a really good bounder strike, right? Because he got the Bristleback as well as the Ricky, dealing quite a bit of damage to both heroes. And Zeus is actually not doing too well in this lane against the Tinker. Tinker seems to be winning this matchup against the Zeus, which is interesting. We don't see it. He shouldn't be losing this lane. And right now he is losing because he's down on last hits, almost double the last hits on Tinker, actually more than double the last hits on Tinker, which means that the Tinker is going to have a good time and the Zeus is going to have a hard time catching up to this.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, Zeus is not really known for being...
lovely fissure into the call as well as the battle hunger, but this Sven with the stun, it's not going to be enough. That's a level 1 or 2 battle hunger. I'm not entirely sure. It's actually, okay. Almost a maxed out battle hunger there. Doing the works there. Even if the Sven was able to get it, he would have ticked down to the battle hunger. And he, in the end, ends up going... This is what we were saying. They need to be careful in their positioning. Doing this Ricky trying to go out the Winter Wyvern. Winter Wyvern uses the Shrine here, surviving for the time being. The Tinker is coming in. He does have the laser and the rocket. Winter Wyvern baiting him in as much as possible, but the Tinker does not have the mana to follow up afterward. He's going to be TPing back into base. So a lot of people don't know this, right? So you can rearm the general teleport. The 50 gold teleport that you buy, you can rearm it. So a lot of people don't know this. And we have seen it being used a lot these days. So normally you don't see heroes contesting for the runes, power runes as much, especially the mid heroes, unless both heroes are inherently need a lot of mana. And it's always dangerous to contest for the rune if you're going alone. So you require support to be coming in to help you out if you're going in for a rune. Meanwhile, Zoe spamming out on the Tinker. Tinker misses the rocket there. I think he lost vision. It got night time.
Very interesting, actually. I mean, obviously both Tinker and Zeus are pretty rune control heavy, especially in the early game. I mean, Tinker does take quite a bit of mana to cast his spells. That's why you want to usually get the bottle as well as the soul ring after you finish your BOTs. But sometimes we actually see players go for that early soul ring just because they can farm a little faster in the jungle because they know they're not in too much danger. But once again, looks like Axie is going to be able to cull the Sven, and he's not having a great time in this lane.
I mean, Hela considered one of the top mids in the country right now, playing off lane. Definitely showing impact, definitely showing why he is among the top 4 mids in the country as well. And doing a lot of work in this off lane. I mean, bottom lane, we see another kill going down. Bristleback is taken down by the Monkey King yet again. So we do see the Dire team in a lot of trouble. Team Liquor having a really hard time against this lineup on the side of Sci-Fi. But the only lane that they were supposed to be winning, they are not winning. They were supposed to be winning mid, which is not happening. So a bit of a problem for them for sure.
So anyway, so far the Axie been having quite a free lane, and now we actually see a Bristleback running into this lane. He's only level 4, has used majority of his mangoes here, so he's going to lose out on quite a bit of regen trying to finish. But seems to be maybe a Vanguard. I mean, usually this combination usually does spell out a Vanguard, but interesting rotation actually to bring the Sven here. I mean, the Bristleback here. Bristleback actually going to get a bit aggressive there.
Fisher flies out on 2 heroes, and we do see the Witch of Iron coming. The slow is going to be there. They are trying to go on the Bristleback. Bristleback is not the easiest skill to get, but those damage and the Culling Blade as well takes him out. Sven needs to be careful, and a lovely heal from the Winter Iron. I think it was just a bit too premature. I would have liked him to hold on to it a little bit longer, but nevertheless, they are not going to be able to chase in for another kill. I think if they did not cold embrace there, Axe might have got another call in and would have transferred into another kill. So a bit of miscommunication there, since the Axe had the magic wand as well, if he wanted to use it. Could have easily baited that in. Oh, the Zeus walks into March, gets hit down by the laser rocket and goes down. So this mid lane is also going really, really well for the Tinker. He has CS right now, and meanwhile, the Enchanters will tick down to Hela's Battle Hunger, and Hela is on an unstoppable streak. What do you think about the Soul Ring pick up on the Earthshaker?
I mean, most of the time you do see a lot of these Shakers tend to go for the Tranquil Boots. So I think picking up something like a Soul Ring will always give you the mana that you need to kind of, make those initiations and make sure that you have enough mana to kind of use all your spells. Because, I mean, you and me have both seen plenty of times where they go straight into Tranquil Boots and then get their Blink Dagger, and because they don't have a wand or a Soul Ring, they kind of end up just, not having enough mana to cast Fissure, which would usually result in a kill because there's a lot of damage with the Aftershock as well. So I think it's decent right now. I think the way the lanes are going, I don't think he's in too much of a rush to get that Blink Dagger because Axe is having a really good lane, and once again, brings down the Enchantress. And the Monkey King is having a really good lane as well as the Tinker. So far they're winning 3 lanes across the board, and the Thunder God's Wrath actually almost bringing Tinker down is extremely low. But he's going to be able to, make it home.
So bounty runes picked up 3 bounty runes, sorry, 3 bounty runes going in favor of the Dire team here, sorry, the Radiant team. So Sci-Fi definitely getting that advantage at the 10-minute mark, getting those extra gold, and Axe is really, really strong right now. He has picked up his face boots as well, alongside that Blink Dagger. He reveals his Blink Dagger quite early. So the enemy team does know that they do have the initiation. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they do bring down the Ricky as well as the Bristleback, and Monkey King getting the solo kill onto those 2 heroes. Going to give him a good leg up, and meanwhile, Tinker chipping in, takes out the Sven. So BOT up on the Tinker. Axe chasing after the Enchanters, gets the call in. Is the Tinker going to follow? Tinker running in with the Rocket. Rocket is going to be there as well. And the dunk from the Axe to bring the Enchanters down as well. That's 2 heroes dead. The Axe does fall down in return, but those 2 kills are really, really worth it, I think, because it was the Sven and the Enchantress for their off lane, which is quite okay with them, and the Tinker is getting these kills and farm He will be getting a very early blink tagger as well, which is really good. Oh, meanwhile, Tinker getting caught out to the Zeus. They are fighting top lane, the Winter Wyvern, using the Splinter Blast, slowing them up for the timing. Can they catch up to him? The Enchanter does have his second skill, cooling down a little bit. They are not going to be able to chase this. I don't think that they dive the Winter Wyvern. He does have the Cold Embrace as well to save himself. And would have been a really bad dive. But the Tinker kill definitely helps the Zeus. He was falling quite far behind. Meanwhile, a lovely Fisher onto two heroes. Where is the initiation? The Ricky with the smoke saves him and brings down the Earthshaker. And those are kills that's been thrown around by PNX Sci-Fi, and they are trying to go after Enchanter. Enchanter slows up the Axe. Axe trying to get the call off. The Zeus coming in from the backline. Sven pops his GS as well. The Axe needs to be careful. The Tinker cheap is in, and the stun is going to land on the Tinker. Tinker needs to be careful. Still the missed chances. He's rearming for the time being. The Sven might go down here. One more laser, and the rocket flies out, and the Sven will go down as well. 3 heroes dead. Bit of an ambitious dive from the Dire team. The Zeus did not have the mana to follow up, and Tinker heads up play from him, rearming immediately after the stun, not running around. That is the right play to make. A lot of people, what they do is they get excited and tend to run around a bit with the Tinker, but keeping his presence of mind, immediately rearming into the laser and the rocket, bringing down the Sven immediately there, and getting those pickoffs on the side of Sci-Fi. So Sci-Fi lose a couple of heroes, but in the turn gets a really good pick off onto the Sven. Meanwhile, Bristleback, a lot of trouble. The Monkey King doing so much work. This is why this hero is strong against the Bristleback. He doesn't really care about the damage reduction from his Bristleback, basically.
I mean, so far the bunking is so far ahead. I think he has like 5 levels on the Bristleback or something like that. He already picked up his Echo Saber as well, so he's extremely farmed. And looks like Sci-Fi is going to try and start taking advantage of their early level lead.
Zeus needs to be careful. He gets caught up by the Axe, and the laser is going to be there. Hella finishing up the kill. Ricky Smoke really not helping there. And they do get another pick off. This is why the Earthshaker is so strong. The long range initiation, the ability to block heroes off from running in a certain path as well. Just doing the work that needs to be done. And Hella and this Earthshaker has been doing a lot of work to make sure that Sci-Fi has a really, really good start. And that's exactly what they have. Sven needs a lot of farm to be able to do anything in these engagements. Axe blinks away, seeing the Bristleback coming in, so the Ricky and the Bristleback both in the mid lane, defending it for the time being. Meanwhile, the bottom tier 1 gets taken out by the Monkey King, so a lot of map presence, a 12k net worth lead at the 30-minute mark. That's a lot. Fissure flies out on the Enchanter. Enchanter using the Nature's Attendant, healing himself for the time being. There is not going to be any catch. If the Sven can get a 2-man Stormbolt, maybe. What a lovely call by the Axe. Jumping in onto 2 heroes. The Echo Slam as well. The Winter Curse is going to be used on the Enchanter. Enchanter's falling down low. He will get taken out. The Junk is going to be there. GS spot from the Sven. Sven trying to run away. The Stormbolt is going to be on 2 heroes. Still running away. But the Fissure is there. Another Junk from Hela. Double kill on a mega kill streak is this Axe here. And PNX Sci-Fi with a really good lead here against Team Liquor here. Team Liquor in all sorts of trouble. I think it was all miscommunication. They did not see the Axe coming in, and getting caught off into that double call just really messed up. And I think the Sven delayed his Storm Hammer quite a bit there.
I think just not having enough information on the map.
Diving in onto the Bristleback as well. 3 rockets into laser. Bristleback is dead. A lot of burst.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, it is pure damage, so it doesn't matter whether he turns his back or not. And this Axe is extremely farmed. But like I said, Team Liquor there's just lack a lot of vision right now. I mean, just as you can see, bot lane already, the Enchantress going down, just like
Only that was just for the Boundless Strike.
Yeah, probably because he already had the Jingu stacks for some reason, so I think he was fighting. He was probably fighting Ricky beforehand. Looks like they might actually want to make a move up here. The Arctic Burn actually being used onto Zeus.
They need to be careful. Sven runs in, gets the Storm Hammer off, but he does not have the GS. And the Sven is going to be in trouble. The Bristleback joins the fight as well. Tinker falling down low. A couple of more hits. Where's the Zeus ultimate? Zeus does not have Yalti, and the Tinker is going to be able to get another rocket off. Yalti is not going to kill the Tinker. Tinker is going to be able to TP out. And the Sven walks into Winter's Curse and kills the Zeus. What is happening? And the Sven is going to go down to the Tinker here as well. The laser rocket does the job. Tinker fighting up against the Enchantress here. Enchantress might be able to get it, but no, it's not going to be enough. He's going to be able to TP out, and he's going to die to the march. Ricky joins the fight, trying to go after the Winter Wyvern. Winter Wyvern is in a lot of trouble. Will get the kill off. Tinker rearming for the time in. Ricky uses the ultimate. Tinker will go down. They are going to pay for this die, but he's waiting up. The blink strike is going to be there. He's going to juke into the trees, and he's going to be able to TP out. Earthshaker just rotating in to make sure that the Tinker gets away. Not sure what that cold embrace was all about, but nevertheless, the Tinker gets away. The Wyvern dies, but I mean, all in all, considering the fact that they did dive at tier 2, it worked out well for them.
I mean, it was really interesting because the TP out would have been really easy for the Tinker and he would have just been able to come back into the fight. But for some reason, Winter Wyvern wanted to grief his ally, so used that cold embrace there. But end of the day, it worked out. He didn't die to the Ricky, so did manage to get that blink away even with the Orb of Venom effect on him. So it definitely works out. And in that whole time, you know, bot lane, as you can see, Zeus, anyone who comes into the boss lane just gets swatted like a fly by this monkey. He's already godlike, so the rest of his... What is happening? Like I said, the Enchantress just...
Too much burst damage coming out from the Tinker. Will be interesting to see whether he goes into a Jagon or an Academy Scepter. I think Jagon is the build on the Tinker right now. He actually picks up a Kaya for the time being. Will be interesting to see what he goes in for, right? Because we have seen Jagan getting really popular right now on Tinkers rather than going for, rushing for that early Academy Scepter. Normal people get the Aether's Lens, Soul Ring, Bottle, Dagger, and then go in for the Aghanim Scepter. But recently enough, the way that the Tinker is being played has changed quite a bit, and they tend to go in for that burst instead of AoE damage on all heroes.
I mean, he already does a lot of bursts at this stage of the game, so getting a Dagon really doesn't really helps him quite a bit because I don't think any of these heroes are even close to getting any sort of item that can help them deal with all the magic damage that's coming out. Obviously, Hela has done a really good job. He has put a lot of pressure just because of the fact that he destroyed his lane, he destroyed the Sven basically, and the Enchantress as well. Knowing when to go max battle hunger is pretty good.
Zeus actually might die to this? No, the rocket. It's not going to be enough. I thought the Tinker might actually blink in there and throw the game, but he didn't. I was expecting a throw. Didn't happen. It's still not the throw time as Sri Lankan Dota goes. It's still 17 minutes. So, Tunimo Axe gets the call off onto the Bristleback. Sven pops the JS. He might get Winter's Curse here. The Wukong commands flies out as well. Sven is not going to be able to do anything. The Echo Slam to secure the kill. Two heroes on the ground. They are going to go after the Zeus as well. The Laser Rocket finishes him off. Double kill for the Tinker. Ricky time to go on the Tinker. Tinker is going to be able to TP out immediately and easily. That's 4 heroes on the ground. Ricky the sole survivor. He is not going to be able to do anything. Tinker TPing back in. Oh, the Ricky blinks in onto the Monkey King. Smokes up for the time being. Keeping them in place. It's not going to be enough. The tower will fall down. They're actually afraid to go for this.
I mean, not exactly sure why they want to back off there. I mean, the tower is literally just one more hit and they can back off after that because obviously both these heroes have...
Jumps in onto the Monkey King. The Laser Rocket finishes off the Enchantress. The Tinker gets caught off onto the Sven. Sven needs to be careful though. Tinker is going to be rearming. There is nothing to stop him. He's going to be able to blink out. Ricky just runs, gets into that invis and the Sven will be able to get away for the time being. Bristleback taking a lot of damage. The Laser Rocket is not going to fly out. Is he going to? Yes, and the Bristleback. And even might be the Zeus is going to just be able to get inside base. And the Tinker does go down to the Ricky. Ricky coming back in with that tricks of the trade, finishing off the Tinker, who was getting a little bit too aggressive. They saved the Ruts at least, and they did not have to use any buybacks.
I mean, he did manage to get 1,336 gold out of the Tinker kill. So I think that's pretty worth for him. Has picked up his next item pretty much instantaneously, which could maybe turn the tide towards the favor of Team Liquor, but I highly doubt it. They're going to need at least a few more items before they can actually do that. Maybe in particular, maybe 2. But this is something you see it often, but not too often. A no boots hero. I mean, boots is usually a very important item on any hero just because of the fact that the additional movement speed and I mean, there is a secret effect of dust that most people do not realize that when you dust someone, they actually get slowed for a certain amount. This announcement is for UNZ17. Please head over to the Fortnite area. Your game is now. UNZ17. Please head on over to the Fortnite area. Your game is now. Thank you.
And something else that I want to mention is Ricky's turn games. I'm not even kidding. Ricky's who are extremely fat can turn the tide of a game. It has happened in pub games. It has happened in turbo games. One of the reasons that Ricky is such a popular pick during turbo games is like a very fat Ricky is really hard to deal with, just because of the fact that the tricks of the trade is just does insane amount of damage with the right items. And no one is going to be able to stay inside the tricks of the trade. And with the skill tree, you actually increase the AoE of the tricks of the trade as well. So heroes like the Monkey King, the Axe, it's not going to be too huge of a problem. And even the Axe for that matter, the Earthshaker for that matter, if he does get caught out, he's going to die as and when the Ricky is getting items. And the amount of goals that the Ricky got in that last kill, they shouldn't have got it. Like, PNX Sci-Fi should have been playing it more safer. They feel like they have a much upper hand here. Obviously they do, but you need to respect the opponent's comeback potential. I think there's always a comeback in Dota, as people say. And you need to respect that, especially because of the amount of gold that you give away by giving away a streak. So meanwhile, they are trying to go into the racks. The Monkey King uses the Wukong's command. Ricky trying to fight up against the Monkey King. Ricky gets stunned up. He's going to be survive for the time being, but he's going to get bursted down with that Echo Slam. He's not going to buy back for the time being. 45 is going to be used. Monkey King, Wukong's command still alive, and the Tinker doing so much of damage, and the dunk is going to be there onto the Bristleback, take him out. 3 heroes on the ground. The Sven is dead. The Bristleback is dead, as well as the Ricky. Now the Enchanter is going to be in trouble. Is the Tinker not going to jump in, and he's going to be the Fisher that finishes him off. And they will secure themselves the mid racks. They are trying to force the bottom racks as well. I mean, they're so far ahead. There is only a couple of heroes alive. Zeus trying to chase out of the wind. Winter Wyvern surviving for the time being with that Glimmer Cap, negating most of the damage that is being dealt from the Zeus. And they will force a tier 3 tower bottom as well. And GG, well played, is being called out by the Dire team. And that is Sci-Fi moving forward in the bracket. And of course, Team Liquor getting knocked out of the tournament. I mean, part and parcel of any sport, someone has to lose, someone has to win. But a good showing from PNX Sci-Fi, proving why they are still one of the best teams in the country. I mean, experience count, they have been around for a really long time. Just understand the game is so important. Tinker might actually get caught out here. And the Winter's Curse saving him for the time being. Game does get paused after a disconnect from the Enchantress as well as the Bristleback. I think it's due to I think they call GG, and he's going to be game over. Not sure.
I mean, it looks like it is. So Zeus has called it in the end. I think someone might have cancelled. So they're going to resume and let the timer run down. So hopefully it will end the game. I mean, obviously it's always tough, being getting eliminated in games such as this. Especially when you just start out and you want to try your best. Just get your hand into the prize pool. I mean, there's a lot to offer. But end of the day, you have to be able to put in the time and effort to get better at the game. And I think maybe next time they might have a better chance.
Definitely. I mean, a lot of prize money on the line here for all these teams. So the competition is going to be that much more intense just because of the monetary factor which is on the line. They won that grand prize. They won the overall championship and the pride of walking away as the top jogs at the SLT eSports Championship. So there's a lot on offer from SLT. And like I said again, I mean, it's amazing that they're doing so much of work for the community to help esports in the country grow. And events like this is where, that is showcased. And a huge shout out to Game.lk, who has been doing so much of work to the country's esports scene since the last 10 to 11 years, and them being around has enabled more and more people to come in and recognize esports and do a lot for the community as a whole. They have recognized that this is a viable career for people, it's a viable sport in the country. I mean, it's recognized by the Olympic Committee right now in Sri Lanka as an actual sport. So a lot of things are happening, and it's all thanks to Gamer.lk and the amount of hard work that they have been putting day in and day out to make sure that gaming or esports as a whole grows. And it comes from a good place as well, because all the people who are working in Gamer.lk as well, they are esports athletes or they are gamers as a whole as well. So they understand the value of it. They understand the requirements of the community and what needs to be done to take it to the next level. And they have been doing exactly that. And I mean, hats off to them for doing such a great job. So we will be back with y'all shortly. Do stay tuned in. We have more action-packed gaming coming your way, and this is me, Terror, and Jack Pro signing off for the time being. Do stay tuned in. We'll be giving you more live action here from different parts of the arena as well. So do not go anywhere. We'll be back with you shortly.
මේක නියම eSport hit එක හැප්පිලා බලමු කවුරුද champion SLT eSport champion බාධක කතරම් ආවත් එකින් එක ජය ගන්නවා නියතයි challenge එක මොලෙන් aim සරසේ game එක කාටත් නොදෙවනි SLT name එක ප්‍රතිවාදීන් සමගත් කරද කර මනස පුබුදු කර එකට තරඟ කර දස්කම් දැන් රවුදේ රටවටේ SLT eSports හදවතේ mindful of glory all set high speed connectivity at its best east or west SLT is the best if gaming is a passion you know the rest
money. And right now we are going to take a look at the gaming area. Right now we have the COD area on my right and left both, if I'm not mistaken. And we do have a tournament match going on. You can see the intensity. You can see the gaming gear that is being used, the mouse pads, the PCs, the headsets. It is very intense. And Call of Duty 4 is one of the most highly contested titles in the country. Time and time again, we have around 100 participants, 100 teams participating. That's around over 500 players itself participating in the title. So it's definitely the most contested title in esports in Sri Lanka. And we see the team on my left side right here is one of the really strong teams in the country, if I'm not mistaken. I see a couple of familiar faces there. So they're definitely one of those strong teams playing. And on my right side, we do have a CSGO match just about to begin. CSGO is a title that has been around for a really long time. So before its inception of CSGO, it used to be CS 1.6. CS 1.6 used to be the esports title in the country. It was the only title that everyone played to just get into esports. That's where a lot of the esports athletes right now who are playing, who have been around for a really long time, that's where they got their start. They started playing CS 1.6, and of course Valve did a good job of revamping it and coming out with Counter-Strike Global Offensive. And right now we have matches for that happening as well. And time again, we have seen a number of participants increasing for Counter-Strike Global Offensive as well. And it's a very competitive title. It is just not about first-person shooter. Obviously, it does play a part, but there's a monetary value inside the game as well. So you need to conserve your economy when buying weapons, save weapons for the next round. There's a lot of mechanics that go into CSGO. It's just not another shooting game. So it's a very competitive title, and time again, like I said, we do see a lot more people joining in for the title. And right now, we are going to take a look at a Dota 2 match happening. I'm not entirely sure what the two teams are, but by the looks of it, the game has just started, just around 1.5 minutes into the game. And they seem to be something that you will see a lot is all these players are wearing their headsets or talking to each other as best as they can. So team games require communication. It's just not about individual skills. Even you can be the most individually skilled team, but it's just not going to translate into a win if you do not have the synergy and if you haven't practiced as a team. That is always the case when it comes to a team sport. And right now we do see the players who are seated communicating with each other, using platforms for voice communication so that they can coordinate in their attack or defense in the game. And moving forward, we do see a lot more participants just seated here, gaming. This is another Dota 2 match happening on this side. We have a couple of single-player titles taking place. I think there's another Call of Duty section. We are just waiting for a game to begin there, just waiting on the teams to come there and start up. So we do have a lot of titles happening across the board. We will go into the single-player area later on. I'll be going there as well to take a look at how the single-player area is panning out as well, because we do have a lot of titles happening there. And talking about the Women's League, I think I spoke about this before as well. Women's League is also there, also here at the SLT eSports Championship, and we have seen the top clans in the country coming out with a lot of competitors for the Women's League here. We saw Noob Alliance coming out with basically an entire team of female gamers just to participate in the Women's League. And even in the normal titles, the general titles that we have, we see some of the top competitors in the country being female. And it is amazing to see that kind of commitment and breaking the stereotype of saying that, you know, it's just boys who sit at home and game. And the common misconception of saying that, you know, gaming is just sitting at a computer, wasting your time playing game, has been thrown out basically out of the window just because of how much the international scene has developed over the past few years, as well as in Sri Lanka. We see SLT doing so much of work, really big prize pool. We have a lot of massive events happening across the year as well. So esports as a whole has developed to a stage where parents and families, they don't think, you know, it's just another thing that, you know, your kids do to waste time. You know, there's actually support from your parents. There's actually a lot of backing to, you know, get into esports. It's not frowned upon anymore. It is being recognized. It is being mainstream now. We have dedicated TV channels coming abroad in the international scene in countries like Poland, where there's a 24-hour dedicated TV channel for esports, where they are showcasing esports across those 24 different titles, interviews, and also reviews on separate games and whatever the new games that are coming out as well. So there's a lot happening, and it is a great time to be alive for all the esports athletes in the country, for sure. sorry about that.
eSports
So yeah, like I said, it's a great time to be alive to all esports athletes in the country. And we will be
ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනික
getting
ස්පෝර්ට්ස්
into a
සේවත්
League of Legends
eSports
match,
යනු
if I'm not
තරඟකාරී
mistaken.
ලෙස
There's a
පරිගණක
white
ක්‍රීඩාවලට
match
යොමු
on
වීමයි.
stage, and the live game will be
ජාත්‍යන්තරව
on
පිළිගත්
this
තරඟකාරී
massive
ලෙස
LED
ක්‍රීඩා
wall, which
කරනු
we have
ලබන
all spectators here to,
eSports ක්‍රීඩා
take a look at.
රාශියක්
So
තිබේ.
there's a lot of more action-packed gaming coming our way here at the SLT eSports Championship 2018. So do not go anywhere. We'll be back with you all shortly with the action live.
eSports යනු කුමක්ද? ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනික ස්පෝර්ට්ස් සේවත් eSports යනු තරඟකාරී ලෙස පරිගණක ක්‍රීඩාවලට යොමු වීමයි. ජාත්‍යන්තරව පිළිගත් තරඟකාරී ලෙස ක්‍රීඩා කරනු ලබන eSports ක්‍රීඩා රාශියක් තිබේ. මෙම ක්‍රීඩා නොයෙකුත් ආකාරයෙන් ක්‍රීඩා කළ හැක. පරිගණක, කොන්සෝල් සහ ජංගම දුරකථන. ඉතා ප්‍රසිද්ධ eSports ක්‍රීඩා වන්නේ League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, FIFA, Call of Duty, Clash Royale. ඕනෑම පුද්ගලයෙකුට eSport ක්‍රීඩාවන් සඳහා සහභාගී විය හැක. ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනික් ස්පෝර්ට්ස් යනු ක්‍රීඩාවකි. මේ ක්‍රීඩාවක් ලෙස ජාතික ඔලිම්පික් කමිටුව හා ආසියානු ඔලිම්පික් කවුන්සිලය මගින් හඳුනාගෙන ඇත. ජකාර්තා නුවර පැවති ආසියානු ක්‍රීඩා උළෙල සඳහා eSports එක් කර තිබුණේ. එපමණක් නොව මීළඟ ආසියානු ක්‍රීඩා උළෙල සඳහාද පදක්කම් සහිත ක්‍රීඩාවක් ලෙස eSports ඇතුළත් කර ඇත. ජාතික ඔලිම්පික් කමිටුව විසින් 2024දී පවත්වන ඔලිම්පික් ක්‍රීඩා උළෙල සඳහාද eSports ඇතුළත් කිරීමට සාකච්ඡා කරමින් පවතී. වෘත්තීය eSports ක්‍රීඩකයන් සඳහා වැටුපක් ගෙවනු ලබන අතර ඔවුන් පුහුණුවීම්වල යෙදමින් රුපියල් බිලියන 4ක් වැනි විශාල ත්‍යාග මුදල් සහිත තරඟාවලි සඳහා සහභාගී වේ. ශ්‍රී ලාංකික eSports ක්‍රීඩකයන් තම රට නියෝජනය කරමින් ආසියානු සහ ලෝක eSports ශූරතාව වැනි තරඟාවලි සඳහා සහභාගී වී ඇත. ක්‍රිකට් ක්‍රීඩාව සඳහා ජාත්‍යන්තර ක්‍රිකට් කවුන්සිලය මෙන් eSports සඳහා ජාත්‍යන්තර eSports සංගමයද ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ eSports පාලනය කිරීම සඳහා ශ්‍රී ලංකා eSports සංගමයද කටයුතු කරයි. ක්‍රීඩකයන්ට පුහුණුවීම මගින් වෘත්තීය ක්‍රීඩා කණ්ඩායම්වලට හෝ ජාතික ක්‍රීඩා කණ්ඩායම්වලට එකතු වී මෙය වෘත්තියක් ලෙස කරගෙන යාමට අවස්ථාව උදා වී ඇත. 2007දී ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට gamer.lk විසින් eSports ප්‍රථම වරට හඳුන්වා දෙනු ලැබිය. eSports ක්‍රීඩා කිරීම සඳහා හොඳම අන්තර්ජාල සම්බන්ධතාවය කුමක්ද? ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අංක එකේ අධිවේගී බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් ජාලය සතු ශ්‍රී ලංකා ටෙලිකොම් සමාගම විසින් හඳුන්වා දී ඇති SLT බ්‍රෝඩ්බෑන්ඩ් සම්බන්ධතාවය තුළින් eSports සඳහා අත්‍යවශ්‍ය අවම ලේටන්සි අගයක් සහිත ඔබ සඳහාම වෙන් වූ විශ්වාසදායි අන්තර්ජාල සබලතාවයක් සපයනු ලබයි. ඔබට ගැලපෙන විවිධ පැකේජ් රාශියක් සමගින් තත්පරයට මෙගාබිට් 100ට වඩා වැඩි වූ අධිවේගයක් සහ eSports සඳහාම ගැලපෙන පරිදි සකස් කරන ලද දත්ත හුවමාරු මාර්ග පද්ධතියක් සහිත ශ්‍රී ලංකා ටෙලිකොම් ආයතනය eSports සඳහා හොඳම තෝරා ගැනීම වේ. වැඩි විස්තර සඳහා www.slt.lk වෙත පිවිසෙන්න. eSports සඳහා යොමු විය හැක්කේ කෙසේද? ප්‍රථම පියවර. විවිධ වූ eSports ක්‍රීඩා අතරින් ඔබ කැමති ක්‍රීඩාවක් තෝරා ගැනීම. දැනට ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ පිළිගත් ක්‍රීඩා 11ක් ඇති අතර සෑම වසරකම මේ සඳහා අලුතින් ක්‍රීඩා එකතු වේ. මෙම ක්‍රීඩා පිළිබඳ වැඩි විස්තර සඳහා eSports.lk ranked-titles වෙත පිවිසෙන්න. දෙවන පියවර පුහුණුවීම. අන්තර්ජාලයට පිවිස අනෙකුත් ක්‍රීඩකයන්ට එරෙහිව ක්‍රීඩා කිරීමට යොමුවන්න. වෙනත් කණ්ඩායම් සමග ක්‍රීඩා කරමින් විවිධ වූ ක්‍රමෝපායන් පුහුණුවීමට යොමුවන්න. එපමණක් නොව තමාට ආවේනික වූ ක්‍රීඩා කුසලතා වර්ධනය කර ගැනීමටද යොමුවන්න. තුන්වන පියවර. ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ පවතින තරඟාවලි සඳහා සහභාගී වන්න. තරඟාවලි තොරතුරු සඳහා www.gamer.lk වෙත පිවිසෙන්න. හතරවන පියවර. යාළුවන් සමග අලුත් ක්‍රීඩා කණ්ඩායමක් ආරම්භ කරන්න. නැතහොත් දැනට ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ පවතින ක්‍රීඩා කණ්ඩායමක් සමග එකතු වන්න. දැනට ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ විවිධ වූ දක්ෂකම් සහ හැකියාවලින් පිරි ප්‍රධාන ක්‍රීඩා කණ්ඩායම් 9ක් ඇති අතර මෙම කණ්ඩායම් පිළිබඳ වැඩි විස්තර සඳහා esports.lk/clans වෙත පිවිසෙන්න. පස්වන පියවර. නිරන්තරයෙන් ක්‍රීඩා කරමින් තම හැකියාවන් වර්ධනය කරගන්න. ඔබ SLT eSports තරඟාවලිය වැනි තරඟාවලියක් ජයග්‍රහණය කළහොත් ඔබට ශ්‍රී ලංකාව තුළ පිළිගත් eSports ක්‍රීඩකයෙකු බවට පත්විය හැක. SLT eSports තරඟාවලිය සඳහා සහභාගී වී විනෝද වන්න. SLT eSports තරඟාවලිය eSports වෙත පිවිසීම සඳහා ඇති හොඳම තරඟාවලියයි. ඔබ කැමති ක්‍රීඩාවක් සඳහා ඇතුළත් වී ඔබගේ eSports ගමන් මඟ ආරම්භ කරන්න. අනාගතයේ ක්‍රීඩාව හෙවත් eSports හි ප්‍රවීණ ක්‍රීඩකයෙකු වීමේ ප්‍රථම පියවර මෙයයි. ඔබව SLT eSports තරඟාවලිය සඳහා සාදරයෙන් පිළිගනිමු.
President Sri Lanka eSports Association. Priyanka Fernandez, Germany. Now then, Dr. Mitsuru Manjanayaka, Chairman Federation of IT Industry Sri Lanka. It is second. Dr. Mitsuru Manjanayaka. Who was that local? We answer 50 seconds. 50 seconds. Federation of IT. Or IT Federation. Now then. Guys, are we ready to go? Update who's updating? You guys are ready? Everyone's done updating. Everyone's done updating. Are we ready to go? Okay, can you help the business into? Okay, no one. Ramesh, I'm live channel. Ramesh? Team name. Team name. Hi guys and welcome back. So we are just about to get into the first League of Legends match on the main stage. It is going to be EcoFox taking on PNX team Dayu. I would like to invite the two captains to join me on stage. So first off, I have the captain from Team PNX Deo. Hi man, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Hades.
Hades. So okay, Hades. What are your expectations for the tournament as a whole?
What was expected of our clan was to try and take the top 3 spots, and we want nothing more than that. Probably go all the way and get #1. So that's the objective for this.
So you said top 3 from your clan. So do you all consider yourself the #1 clan? #1 team in the clan?
To be very honest, not really. There's a lot of competition, a lot of good teams playing this time, especially within our own clan. So we were able to pull an upset at the previous Gamer Street Battlegrounds tournament and beat the best team, and we can hope we can maybe continue something along those lines.
Another question. So you have been in the league community for a really long time. How do you think the growth of League of Legends has happened in the country as well as internationally? I mean, we had a team participate in the Asian Game qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken.
I would say it's come really far from where it started, because when we first started, there was maybe a handful of teams, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7. But now there's so many teams who are exposed to the game. The game has also continued to improve along with the competition. And SLT has given us a fantastic chance to display the hard work and the practice and all the years that we've put in. So we're looking to put on a show, and I hope, and this is a message to all the other teams out there, not just League of Legends, but all the other games in general. Just come here, do your best, show them what esports is all about, the passion, the dream. That's what it is.
That's what it is indeed. So now I have the captain from EcoFox. Hi man, what's your name?
Toran.
Toran, right? Okay. Toran, same question again. What do you think will happen in the match? Do you think you can beat? So they consider themselves one of the top teams in their clan. Do you think, what are your chances against them?
We hope to give them a best game, and let's see what's going on.
What do you think about the tournament? So SLT, this is the fourth year that they're doing it. What do you think about the tournament?
Yeah, the tournament is pretty good and it's well organized. It's a great pleasure to enjoy.
Okay, thank you very much, man. I hope you give us a good game and best of luck. So there you have it, guys. The 2 captains representing PNX Team Deyo and EcoFox. We'll be getting into the live games shortly, so do not go anywhere. We will be back with the action-packed League of Legends match to you.
Check one. Oh, hey. Yeah, we should. All right. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be seeing this game going on stage in very, very soon. Welcome to the game, the League of Legends match. So currently we're going to be putting it on screen very, very soon. I'm Kid Dominate alongside the Unseen Blade. Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
It's good, man. I mean, you know, it's a wonderful wonderful day to have some League of Legends. And we're going to be seeing Team Echo Fox facing off against Team Deyo, a very, very dominant team. You guys have probably, I mean, a lot of people who played the League, they know who Deyo is. They've been playing against them for a long time. Dangerous team, man.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
What do you have to say about the picks and bans so far?
Yeah, so we're on the first phase of bans, and the bans so far are Amumu and Nasis and Zoe, and then you have the other side with Zaya ban and Lulu and LeBlanc. So I think the LeBlanc ban is because she's such a dominant pick.
Yeah, right now I think LeBlanc is a very, very dominant pick in, I mean, we've been seeing it all throughout Worlds as well. LeBlanc is very, very strong. But as far as Raiden is concerned, I don't know if it's the most valid ban. Because Raiden has a lot of pocket picks. And I would say against the LeBlanc, there are other champions that they could have possibly banned. But looking at Lulu and Zaya, again, you know, but this is, again, a very young team. This Tecmorph team, Echo Fox, and I don't think they've been in the scene long enough to know what these veteran players are capable of playing. So I think more than anything else, this particular match is going to be a learning experience for them. Yeah,
that's true. Maybe they're trying to like ban all the counter champions they have. Maybe that's their plan. So let's see what's going on. We're now in the second phase of bans.
Yeah, yep.
So
looking on the side of the picks on Deyo's side, you got Warwick going over to Coolsit, the Diablo Triple X, and he's a really, really solid Warwick player. And of course, one of Foxy's longtime favorites, the Zyra going over. But we have to look at the Leona as well. Leona tends to be lethal against these mage supports. So as long as they play their level 2 onwards very carefully, I think they could possibly shut down Deyo's bot lane, you know, so let's see what happens. So looking at the final ban phase happening right now, Aatrox taken over from the side of Echo Fox, as well as Echo and Darius being taken away from Echo Fox by the side of Deyo.
And we also see like Zyra and Lucian in the bot lane, so it's going to be a...
That's a very poke heavy lane, man. That's crazy poke, you know.
And if you get caught, it's going to be like really deadly.
Yeah. That's, I think, if Jin happens to get caught in Zyra's snare and Lucian combos off on him, that's pretty much you're looking at about 60 to 70% of their health being removed. You know, so it's a dangerous lane. They got to be very careful, and I think Shyvana, see, again, I see problems here for the side of Echo Fox because they're taken Shyvana, who is not known to be gank heavy pre-level 6.
Yes, indeed.
Until she gets that level 6 sorted and she gets a dragon form, and also Drake priority is very important for the side of Echo Fox because they do need to make sure that Shyvana gets those Drakes to get her stacks going. And pre-level 6, if they do not shut down these lanes, it's going to be kind of tough because you look at a team on the side of Deyo, man, these guys can snowball.
Yeah, but I would have to disagree there because when you see the bot lane, it's pretty much focused on early game because Lucian starts to fall off after mid game. So Jin does have a chance in late game once he starts to scale. It's going to be deadly, and they also have a Veigar top of that.
Oh yeah, Veigar's very, very strong.
Late
and
game.
looking at Echo Fox, they're going with the classic Sri Lankan strategy of let's just stack CC on CC on CC. You know? So you got the Leona ult coming, and you got the Jin ult from a distance. So if he wants to just deadly flourish and stun someone up alongside the Veigar's Event Horizon, and of course Maokai snare as well as the ult as well. So that's a lot of CC to deal with, you know.
Yeah. I'm worried about late game particularly here, but the only thing I think they have to focus is to like keep Jin safe away from Camille and Fizz.
Yeah, exactly. I think as long as they just make sure that they get through that difficult early laning a part of it, because Camille can technically go up against Maokai a few times, especially after the Sheen comes in. She can be a little difficult to fight, but again, you're looking at a Shyvana and a Maokai, and together, Camille can go down pretty fast. But like, Feed Me More, this is also Raiden's younger brother. He's a phenomenal top laner. He definitely knows what he's doing. They'll make sure that they gank. And of course, with Kulsit being in the jungle, they'll know to be careful. They'll know to gank at the right time and try to anticipate the pathing of Shyvana. And if Shyvana gets set back, then I worry for the side of Echo Fox.
It's indeed true, but yeah, I believe their part would be to like play on the late game side.
Yeah, absolutely.
They should. I mean, their early game is so strong. You see Warwick there, Lucien there, and even Fizz.
Yeah.
Once it's post 6, it's going to be really hard for Jin to survive.
I think like once the Warwick hits level 6 and once the Fizz hits level 6 as well, I would worry for this Vega. Because Vega does not, I mean, if by any chance the Fizz decides, okay, you know what, I'm going to all in this guy, I cannot see the Fizz being able, the Vega rather, being able to out-damage Fizz. It just doesn't function that way, you know, with the Electrocute and the Ignite coming in. I would say Vega would be so much safer if he actually took a cleanse.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
you know, yeah?
I think the best choice would for him to be like having like a stopwatch on his secondary. So
yeah. So yeah, exactly. I mean, so we can't see the runes as of now, so we can't tell.
We can't tell.
So
yes.
once we actually get to the loading screen, we should be able to, you know, have a better look at their summoners and their runes rather, and see exactly what they're running, and you know, maybe have a better idea of what's going on.
So what do you think Vega is going on with? What has he chosen? Like his
I
runes?
don't know, man. I mean, usually when I play Vega, I have a habit of going for the unsealed spellbook sometimes, because it can be very useful.
It's a great flex spell.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
really flexible.
Exactly, and you basically run sorcery on the second with Gathering Storm, which is normal. I don't know. I am gonna predict Arcane Comet on this Vega.
That's a good pick. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so too. But the secondary part is really tricky. So
yeah,
is he gonna go like?
I don't know. I mean, usually if I'm running sorcery on my primary, I really like running inspiration on my second, because I like to sometimes run futures market to kind of get an edge on someone else's buys and try to, you know, maybe steal away an extra pink ward or buy, you know, get a little bit closer and buy that stopwatch as well. So sometimes I like to go for that, secondary inspiration. But, you know, everyone plays games very differently. All right, so it looks like we're ready to go on a screen with the champion screen. So let's just see exactly what's going on. And we'll see what the runes and masteries. There you go.
Yeah, so as you predicted, and he does have our.
I did say it, didn't I?
So I'm not really sure what his inspiration trees have on, but like
yeah, so we can't tell. I mean, obviously, so once we load in, we'll have a look at their inventory and we'll know whether he's running that stopwatch. So looking at Warwick as well, he's running that press the attack, and secondary, he's not going for resolve. He's going for domination. Very clear what these guys want to do. See, even looking at Zyra, usually I would run Aerie for the constant poke, but you can tell that these guys are really prioritizing that extra burst damage that you can immediately do on them, and to try and basically force them to play back, because the further these guys play back, it means that they start to sacrifice CS, they start to sacrifice lane control, and in extension, dragon control as well.
Yeah, that's true. They're trying to delay them as possible and, you know, dominate them early game
and
end it as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. I mean, looking at how these guys are going to be playing, I'm fairly certain that we're looking at Deyo wanting to get a 20 to 25 finish. Maybe even earlier if possible, but I mean, I don't know.
I predict like a 29 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I'm a little bit concerned about Jin here. He's not running fleet footwork.
Yeah.
So he's running Hail of Blades, which is not so good for Jin right now. So I believe. What's his plan?
I don't know. See, for me, I played a lot of ADCs nowadays. I mean, I'm a support main, but I've been playing ADC a lot more. But Jin is someone that I've never still played as much as I should. So I can't like on my side, I can't honestly say whether Hail of Blades is better for Jin or whether something else would suit him better. I mean, we've seen a variety of runes being used for Jin. You've seen, I mean, there was a time when you saw Arcane Comet being used, and then there was Fleet Footwork, and then of course now you have Hail of Blades as well. I don't know, man, you know?
This season is crazy.
This season is nuts.
It's like so much varieties of pick.
I know.
We even
crazy.
saw mid-Vayne.
Yeah, we've been seeing mid-Vayne, and a champion who wasn't even seeing that much pro play was suddenly being played in the mid lane. Like Irelia, for example. Irelia is like a bona fide mid-pick now.
Yeah, she migrated from top to mid, and she's like one of the most dominant picks available.
It's been weird. You know, we saw Aatrox being revamped, and Aatrox is one of the most in-demand picks in the top lane right now, and sometimes even in the mid lane.
Yeah,
you know, very, very strong, very, very lane dominant, and this has been a weird season.
Weird season. I mean, since the nerf of ADC, it's been like...
Yeah. Look at the World Championships, man. I mean, three-time World Champion SKT, not even qualifying for Worlds, which just broke my heart, man.
It's just sad. I think the team fall apart a little bit.
Yeah, I think that team just needs to be re-looked at, you know. And then, of course, we're looking at China being knocked out. Of course, Invictus Gaming still there. Yeah. But for the most part, China and Korea both getting completely knocked out by Europe and North America. Which is
getting knocked out was my biggest
I know.
surprise.
I couldn't believe it. How did that even happen, you know? So it's very, very strange. So at the moment, guys, please bear with us.
We are having a slight delay.
Yeah, we're experiencing a bit of an issue. Someone may be experiencing some technical issues, maybe a little bit of lag, hyping, or whatever it is. So we'll resolve this as soon as possible and get back to work as soon as possible. And guys, a big shout out going out to our sponsors, of course. They make this happen every single year, and we definitely got to say a big thank you to SLT and of course the SLT eSports Championship 2018. I gotta tell you, man, we're looking at SLT broadband superiority. If you're a gamer, you definitely need to look at their fiber packages. You're looking at low latency, incredibly high speed for whatever you want to download, and of course the novice area now. Newcomers get to learn about what esports are alongside the required hardware that you need, and of course you get to experience the games. Thank you to all of you for being here and actually making this possible as well. And of course, Gamer.lk, these guys have been pretty much making esports happen in Sri Lanka for the longest time, right?
Yes,
I mean, we wouldn't have what we have today if not for Gamer.lk.
A big shout out to them. They made so many tournaments happen. It's like, we are here. Like,
we're here. All right, so it looks like the pause has gone off, and we can get this game on the big screen once again. Looking at the side of Deo versus Techmorph Echo Fox. So, so you're a mid main, yeah?
Yeah, I'm a I'm ADC main.
Oh, you're an So
ADC
wait,
main,
the Unseen Blade. So I thought that was definitely a Z reference. So I thought maybe you're a Z main.
I was a mid main till season 7, so I switched to a ADC main since my team needed one.
So now, so currently you are an ADC main. Okay, looking at this current situation, right? What does Echo Fox need to do to get through the early 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Because right now, we were talking about how crazy the meta is, right? And we're looking at a team that pretty much wins the game the moment they make one mistake during the first 10 minutes and the moment that we see the Herald being taken. Because the Herald almost every time means that that's first tower.
That's true.
So what does Echo Fox, especially their bot lane, what do they need to do to get through this early laning phase?
So I would like to start off with mid, because I mean the main thing the mid would want to do is he would have to maintain the lane control. He should be giving priorities to whenever like Shyvana is going to get the scuttle, he should always have the lane pushed in to help Shyvana with the scuttle to get her ahead as soon as possible. So I think the main sticking point here is when Shyvana hits 6, you get those surprising ganks halfway from the wall, jumping in, a dragon just comes into your lane. And
yeah.
So that's for mid, and then you have for bot lane, I believe, they just have to not get pushed in on the turret, because when you're under turret and you have a Zyra on the opposite team, it's very
man,
hard.
it's so difficult to farm because she just sieges you under the tower, keeps spawning the plants, keeps hitting you with the snares and whatnot. So it tends to become very, very oppressive to play against. And I think right now, so I'm going to go ahead and just move these around just so we have a proper idea of what's going on. Because sometimes when you're having custom games, these scoreboards tend to get a little mixed up. So we're going to go ahead and mix these up so that we have a proper 1 versus 1 situation. So looking at the bot lane once again, we are seeing that Harris already coming through. We're seeing how annoying it is to deal with a Zyra, losing out on a lot of health. Leona already at about a loss of 30%, 40% health. Yeah, looking tough.
Yes, indeed. So that's what I wanted to say. Like, if Jin was running fleet footwork right now, he would be getting huge amount of health back,
Yeah,
and
for
he
sure.
wouldn't suffer a lot. And he has that movement speed to dodge the skill shot from Zyra. So fleet footwork would have been the best choice, but he's running Feral Blades, Hail of Blades. Sorry. So I believe they have some sort of plan worked out to get those like all-in engages and chunk them down. But the main problem here is they have to survive till they get those, you know, level spikes.
I feel like one of the best things they could have actually done at this point, which they failed to do sadly, was they could have possibly had, because they did leash the Shyvana in the bot side, right? There is a good chance that you could have just cheese ganked the level 2, you know? Maybe had the Shyvana take the red buff, hit level 2, come to the bot lane, and have the Leona maybe engage with the Q and got them a lead, because I'm fairly certain you would have popped a flash or two, because Shyvana's damage tends to be surprisingly high.
Indeed.
You know, you just don't expect it until it hits you, and you're like, whoa, hey, where's my health? You know?
True that. Being an ADC myself, like, whenever I get jumped by
We've
Shyvana,
experienced this, yeah?
Oh my God. You just see a Shyvana jump on you, you're trying to kite her, but you just get one autoed by her, and then you're like, what happened?
It hurts a lot. Something surprising that I've been seeing recently, something that I experienced very recently. I don't think it's going to happen this game. I highly doubt it. But have you ever had damage taken from an AP Shyvana?
Oh my God.
It hurts.
It hurts a lot.
It hurts on a whole different level, you know? Either the auto attack hurts.
Yes,
I don't understand how that works, because it's very strange.
You see the bot like...
All right, guys, just to let you guys know that, SLT eSports, we are hosting the mobile games as well. So if you guys are just taking part for Clash Royale, please head over to the mobile gaming side of the building, and because Clash Royale is about to be starting very, very soon. So please make sure that your presence is felt so that you don't miss out on your games. Thank you so much.
Two things I have a problem here. We already see the first summoner pop off in the bot. So
I actually didn't see this. What happened?
Jin just like blew his heel because he got snared by Zyra.
Yeah.
And when you see top lane, he is running out of mana. It's going to be really hard. But he does maintain a good level of wave control. He has frozen the lane, the sweet spot for top laners. But in the bot lane, I am seeing them get harassed. I don't think Jin could survive anymore in the lane.
So I think he's going to have to back at some point very, very soon. And the Vega's also getting to that precarious point where he's running out of mana. And the level 6 is very, very close. You know, and on top of that, if you look at each of the lanes, you're looking at the top lane over here. There you go. That's the level 6. Comes in. That's first blood to the Fizz. I called it. I said it.
All right. That was beautifully done by Fizz. He had this wave control, and he's 10 CS ahead with a kill. That's going to be a huge goal.
The flash comes out. The ignite comes out. But it's all good. There's nothing to lose for the Fizz, because now he's got an extra 400 gold to add on top of a 10 CS lead. And he's going to come back with superior items. And believe me, every single time this guy gets his levels, he gets his ultimate, he's going to do this to Vega over and over again.
Yeah, the main problem is like he could roam everywhere.
He can, because right now he has lane priority. He's constantly pushing those waves in. And they also have that CS lead happening in every single lane. You have a gigantic 16 CS happening in the top lane, 41-24 in favor of Camille, as well as 42-30 in favor of Fizz. And you're looking at the bot lane as well, the Jin really suffering from that Zyra Harris, down so much CS, 36 against the 55 from Hades Lucian. So, things are looking tough, man, you know, for the side of Echo Force. You know, but we saw this coming. We saw this coming because this is still a very young side, and these guys are talented players. And the way I see it, you know, this is it's a good learning opportunity for them.
Yes, indeed. They have a lot to learn here. And then we do see a Tiamat on Warwick.
Yeah.
So he is going on a highly farm independent route, I guess. He is.
There you go. Already the damage popping off on the Camille. And she doesn't even have a Sheen yet. That wasn't even a Sheen damage right there. I mean, when that Sheen comes out, man, she's going to hurt.
She does run double dagger, so I don't know where. I mean,
it is a little surprising considering the fact that the first buy could have possibly bought that Sheen. So I am curious about the double Doran's Blade buy. Maybe for the sustain, I don't know. I mean, when you're about like 50 CS up and you back, I'm fairly certain you have enough gold for the Sheen, right?
I believe, yeah. I mean, maybe he has some sort of secret strat, and we do see Fizz go in, but he just...
Yeah, he's just going in to let him know, hey, you know what, I'm here, you know, just don't forget. So another hook shot comes in, damage traded off, Maokai not doing too bad.
We are seeing Fizz moving around across the map. I think it's going to be a dive on top lane.
Fizz's mana is a little bit low, but there you go. He's taken the honey fruit, and mana goes back to normal once again. He will be heading back to the bot lane, mid lane rather, where the lane is frozen perfectly in the middle. Any kind of frozen lane at this point is bad news for the Vega because he has to be very, very careful, and he's forced to just farm with the Q.
Yes,
you know, and because you don't want to spam the W too much, also because you want to try and get the stacks with your Q as much as possible, and you don't get that if you farm with your W.
But there is a certain style, like they could play, you know, where there are all those pros, they used to like farm with the W, but they always like Q to the champions to get the stacks that way.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, even if you hit the W on champions, you still do get the stacks.
Yeah, but
this is...
they try to like farm with the W, so then you lose the wave control over there.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, anyway, Fizz, very, very elusive, very hard to hit a W on the Fizz. So, you know, I don't see that happening much.
I mean, to the wave, I believe, to push the wave into the turret.
So already the bot lane tower taking a little bit of heat from the side of Hades and Foxy. And they need to be very careful. They need to ensure that this bot lane has a little bit of protection. I do believe that Shyvana is level 6. So expect ganks to happen. But Warwick hovering around both sides, and knowing Coolsit, he would counter gank.
Yes, indeed. Almost both the junglers are level 6, I believe. They are there, and they are ready, and they haven't showed their presence into lanes yet. We do see Fizz roaming into the jungle. He's trying to do some play.
Yeah, there you go. I feel like it's going to be a 4-man dive in that bot lane, man. I can see it coming. So let's have a quick look at what's going on in the bot side. There you go. So lane set up. We're looking at Fizz, who's ready with the ultimate, a full mana bar, flash almost up alongside the ignite as well. He's just gonna jump these guys. They're gonna push this in. There you go. Incoming. That the Jhin gets blown up. Warwick tanking the damage. Fizz is not done yet. Yeah, decides he's done. This could possibly be first tower, guys. The Warwick comes in. Massive minion wave coming on the bot side as well. Vega and Shyvana both roaming down. There you go. They're not aware of this. A lot of...
Oh, there goes the kill for Vega.
Yeah, the first tower still goes down, but Echo Fox managed to get a kill for themselves. Teleport coming down. Don't know exactly how sensible this is. Hook shot comes in. Lovely flash there to drop the Hextech ultimatum. Jhin is way too late. Vega manages to get in. That's going to be 4-1 on the side of Deyo, and first tower going over as well. Is this GG?
No, not yet really, because I mean there's 3,000 gold lead. If it's almost 3,000. So if they manage to snowball this, it's gonna be GG. But top lane still looks stable to me. Maybe, I'm not sure. But if Camille gets ahead to like the other lane, since bot turret is down, they could rotate to a top, and they could pressure Maokai and put him down. If Camille gets just even slightly ahead.
I think when we're looking at it, that's exactly what's going to happen. Lucian rotates mid and pushes that wave out, but I'm looking to see that Lucian go top and take that tower as well. This is very, very methodical League of Legends by one of the top 3 teams of Sri Lanka. So you can see the Zyra already coming in to the top lane, dropping some wards in, de-warding as well. Fizz once again staying on the mid lane, gets caught by...
Event Horizon, and there we go.
Forced to flash out. There you go. So a little
Ignite
bit
is
of a
also
win.
down.
Yeah, a little bit of a win for the side of Echo Fox. They need to make sure that they keep doing this and try to establish what is left of their lanes, top and mid.
Indeed. I mean, they are like prioritizing Herald right now. They're getting all the vision they can get around Herald. They're nicely setting it up. Bot lane is already rotated to top, so we are seeing top is going to be down soon. And
We're looking at the Warwick and the Camille already heading down. These guys have no wards. And man, you can't push this far when you don't have any vision here. So that looks like it's going to be the Jhin. Oh man, I feel for this guy. Flash comes in, dodges out, just barely out of. But you know what? I'm looking at this.
And
This Camille's gonna just catch up,
I think
man.
the hook shot is come up any moment.
Yeah, there you go. That's gonna be the Jhin going down and pretty much the Leona as well. They're both very fed. That's a double kill going into Camille, and that Camille is gonna keep doing this, man.
This
He's
is what
fed.
I was afraid of. There was a Camille and Warwick. We warned them about this. This is going to happen. Your ADC is going to get hunted down throughout the game. You should protect him, but I think they made a mistake pushing it too far.
You know, I mean, look, if you're pushing in for the tower, if you're pushing into this tower right here, what we're looking at over here, you need to ensure that these areas are warded, you know, because they didn't even have the scuttle trap taken over here. So as I can see it, top lane is also going to get taken down very, very soon. The bot lane of Deyo sieging very, very heavily. Shyvana rotating over there, but I don't really know if she has what it takes to withstand the harass that comes out from Lucian and Zyra. Very, very methodical. Yeah, there you go. Oh, locked up. A little bit of damage taken out, but I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, they're just going to back off, and that tower is going to live just barely hanging in, man.
Yeah, but that was great execution by...
Yeah, they
just got the
protected it.
drag for trade.
Yeah. There you go. Looking at the bot lane right now, they have 2 Drakes to their name. Unfortunately, Drake priority, which should have been Shyvana's,
indeed,
has not been taken. And you're looking at the 2 elements already standing by on the side of Deyo, the Air Drake alongside the Ocean Drake being taken on. And that top tower, it's going to fall the moment someone blows on it. Oh, Vega is in a very, very nasty place. Falls down, gets taken away. There you go. But Fizz in a precarious position. Leona completely misses the E. And Fizz just playful trickstering away. He's going to go ahead and hit this tower. No, he's not.
He's not hitting the tower.
Oh, wow.
He could have got the tower. That would have
No,
been
Lucian
nice.
was already there. Lucian was already there, but I'm kind of surprised that Jhin missed pretty much everything there.
Yeah.
The kill goes over to Leona with the Ignite being used as well, so...
I mean, it was really good by Fizz. He just used his playful trickster in a really good manner.
he did,
He just dodged almost all the skill
Pretty
shots.
much everything, yeah. I think the only thing he didn't dodge was the point and
shot.
click, the tower shot and the Ignite.
You can't dodge those.
You can't dodge the
can't
Ignite,
either.
man. I'm sorry, no matter how good you are, mid laner. And the split push already coming in on the side of Camille. Herald not being taken in, and I don't think they care about the Herald too much at this time. But looking at a massive goal lead there, almost 6,000, almost 5,000 more or less. Blooming in, the Warwick goes in, he's much stronger, and Shyvana forced to ult out. Not what you want to see from the side of a Shyvana, so much damage. There you go, the ult comes in, knocked up and locked up. That's Deyo taking another kill.
True. I mean, they are looking little bit, you know, disconnected from each other. They are doing a lot of missteps here and there.
Yeah.
So
you know, I just think that sometimes doing the basics right goes a long way. And because I personally feel like, I mean, with all due respect to these youngsters, they will get there at some point. You know, they will, you know, because it's a tough game to come into, playing against one of the top 3 teams in the country. It's not easy to come in, but I feel like, oh man,
just misses.
The fish just misses. Jhin just barely surviving by the skin of his teeth. But going back to what I was saying at the beginning, I think they lost this game at the pick and ban phase, you know? Picking that a jungler who was dependent on the level 6, you know?
I mean,
Stopwatch being used, he walks away. Good damage there down onto the Lucian, so you get an idea of what that Vega can do. I mean, I would say the game is not yet lost.
Indeed.
You know, I can't say it's not yet won because it does look like it's won, But, oh, messes up the playful trickster. The teleport comes in, Leona's ult misses, and they're gonna turn in on the Leona. Oh, the hookshot misses. Hex tech. Wow, man, everything missing right now. That's a lot of good damage from the Jhin.
Jhin is scary late game, I mean.
Yeah, and so, I mean, what you were talking about, the Jin's late game, you can start to see the damage coming in.
It pops.
Yeah.
Once he gets 2 items, it's gonna be really crazy. I mean, even after his first item, it's gonna be really, really heavy because...
So there you go, guys. Herald finally being used to take down this mid lane tower. And I'm fairly certain no one seems to be rotating onto the mid lane. It looks like Shelly's going to get one more bash at the mid lane tower, the second tier before Vega most probably takes him out. Shyvana being forced to ult out again. Doesn't really matter. Warwick circles around, takes the kill.
And yeah, it looks really...
There you go. Maokai gets taken down as well. That's another kill going over. It's a 3-0 Camille right now.
Yeah, and there's almost like nearly a 10k lead. So
yep.
I mean, they could still win if they could just take a deep breath and focus and coordinate themselves. There is so much miscoordination. Everyone's running around past the turrets, past the limits. I mean, they are lacking a lot of wards here and there.
Yeah, you know, because, I mean, right now it's very difficult to get defensive vision as well, because as you can see, you can basically see Fizz, that's a blind fish right there.
Didn't we see the same scenario just happen like 5 minutes ago?
I think everyone's getting just a little too excited and, you know, just fishing for kills. See what I did there? See what I did there? Fishing for kills.
Oh so I believe they do know that they have
so much damage, man. That's going to be a dead Shyvana. I can just see it happening. There you go. The Hextech ultimate almost coming down. It has actually been used. If you're looking at the time over here, it has been used, but it doesn't really matter. The kill goes down anyway. The Shyvana is way behind, 1-4 on the team of Echo Fox. Looking very, very bleak at the moment. I don't know, man. I mean, I feel like maybe there isn't proper shot calling going on the side of Techmorph at the moment, on the side of Echo Fox.
Indeed, true. I mean, they're new to league, so they're new to like the pro scene, so it's really hard for them. They lose first blood and they're under so much pressure to like perform. I think that pressure is doing bad things to them. They are losing their coordination. They're running here and there, and I think Dayo is using that really perfectly. They're cherry picking their opponents here and there, and they're getting those kills. They're getting ahead, and they are now boasting like a 10k goal lead.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. These guys are veterans. I mean, if you look at even the ADC, Hades, he's the guy who was there from Season 1. He's been playing League for a very, very long time, knows what he's doing, and he's transitioned from the mid lane to the role of ADC as well. I play with this guy on a very, very frequent basis, and he knows what he's doing. And of course, you have certain picks in the enemy team, like the Fizz, that subconsciously tends to tilt you, you know, especially when he gets the first blood. See, look at that. There's a Leona does not want to even be near that Fizz right now. You know, it's like, oh hell, get me out of here. I don't want to be here at all.
I mean, Fizz is playing around them.
Yeah, look how deep he is. He's so deep. He's just warding deep. He doesn't care at all. No one is able to lock this guy down, and no one has the damage to burst him, because he will kill you before you kill him.
And the problem is they do have two Cloud Drakes coupled in, and there is a fight
Lovely Zhonya's right there to save himself, Vega, but that's a lot of damage. There you go. Leona's ult misses, but Lucian forced to run away. He does have he still has a lot of damage. You gotta be very, very careful, but you know what? I gotta give props to this Echo Fox team, because they just managed to get a 1-for-0 over there.
That's really good. They just got the shutdown. That's a really huge amount of go. So, I mean, if they could work around with that, yeah, we see Lucian.
There you go. That's gonna be, oh, if that deadly flourish had hit, that's a dead Hades. You know,
dead Hades. That's like a huge amount of gold there. And oh my God, Camille is like doing her job in bot.
Oh, you know, just because no one's able to lane against her at this time, because no one is able to go to that lane and stop her from split pushing, because she's gonna keep doing this. She's gonna have, you know, the 4-1. In going in the lanes right now. She's going to keep split pushing, and at least 2 people have to actually go to whatever lane she is in to stop her from doing what she's doing.
We You see her having a Triforce too. She's very deadly right now. That
Oh yeah, the Triforce is done. Warwick being a douchebag, leaving the tiny two Krugs just to mess with the Shyvana's jungle. Everything being taken away right now. Massive goal deficit on the side of Echo Fox, and you can see it from the farm as well. Like, forget the scoreboard. If you're looking at the farm difference, 154 to 178. Looking at the ADCs, 138 to 137. Of course, Fizz doesn't care. He's farming kills, so he doesn't care that much. But big CS deficit on the side of the junglers as well. You're looking at 100 to 150. That's a pretty big deal. And 113 to 152 on the side of the top laners as well. What does Echo Fox have to do right now?
I mean, they shouldn't be disheartened right now, but all they have to do is coordinate a little bit. Since they have those late game hyper carries, they just have to funnel gold onto them.
Yeah.
They don't need to like have the gold on everyone, even though there's a huge lead between them. They just need the gold on the carries and just protect them to do the damage. We did see.
So Baron being started right now. This is an interesting call. They know what's going on, but that Fizz is there zoning everyone out. Not really the best ultimate being used there on the Leona. Hardly any damage being done. But no one is available to stop this.
They aren't even contesting. They are down in bot killing Camille, but here
they can possibly take a bunch of people off here. Leona absolutely alone. She's going to go down. It's going to be 2 more kills absolutely gifted over to the side of Deyo, while the Camille has gone down. Wow. But the Camille, I think, has managed to take the Shyvana out. So a 1-for-1 worth, I would say.
Indeed. I mean, they are going to siege mid, and that's going to be one more inhibitor down mid lane because they don't have anyone to defend it right now. Everyone's recalling in their team, and mid is going to be open, and Warwick is pushing in top, so I think it's going to be total annihilation in all the lanes.
I think the only thing that has to happen right now is the fat lady singing, because Echo Fox's base is being broken. So that's going to be the mid inhibitor going down as well. Fizz gets caught in the event horizon, won't take much. Dodges neatly out of the event horizon, dodges out of the alt and the Q and the W, dives in. The mid inhibitor just barely surviving. It's going to go down. Final hit from the buffed up Baron Cannon minion. Another push happening in the top lane as well. Maokai will be able to stave this off, but you have to keep in mind that that inhibitor is absolutely open at this point.
They are trying to like survive in here. They didn't. I was expecting a total annihilation here, but they did manage to fend off them by only losing 1 hit in him. But we will see them sieging all around. So it's going to be really hard. They need that vision.
Yeah.
They shouldn't get picked off.
Especially considering the fact that no one's able to lane against that Camille. You are forced to send at least 2 people to deal with her, and there's a good chance that she will take at least one of you out before she actually dies. And you're looking at the mid and top lane where, I don't think that even 4 of the team Echo Fox can take down 3 from Deyo, because the goal lead is that massive right now. 4 to 16, 32,000 to 49,000 is what we're looking at in terms of gold.
That is like a 16,000 goal lead right there. That is too big to come back from, but I don't know. Maybe miracles happen, like
miracles do happen, and especially the longer the game goes.
Back.
Yeah, the longer I like to believe that in this elo, everyone throws.
Indeed.
At some points, I like to believe that everyone throws, and I've seen it happen time and time again. No matter what your goal lead is, at some point, when oh, that was a wasted ultimate. I don't really know what was going on over there.
And they just clump in, and that's slaughter.
There you go. Yeah, Maokai absolutely being taken off. This is gonna be. The Fizz goes in. Event Horizon has been used.
Nice.
Lovely Zonia's there, but Fizz is gonna take one anyway. Hextech ultimate comes down. Not enough damage to take down that Fizz. Just barely survives. That's going to be the bot inhibitor going down. Lucian pushing rather in that top lane. Wow. Excuse the hell out of me, guys. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. That's going to be a GG to the side of Deyo. And they're going to take this win and travel further up the bracket. Well done to Echo Fox. I think they had some interesting moments where they did a decent job. But, I mean, the win goes over to the more experienced side. Thank you very much for joining us for this game, guys. We'll be back again. Please keep watching, because more games will come on the big screen. And thank you so much for my co-caster as well, the Unseen Blade.
Yes,
We'll be
guys.
back a little bit later on, and we're going to hand things over to our dapper man in the tie, who is somewhere on stage or somewhere around. We're going to pass things over to him, and he will take you through and maybe get you an interview with the winning team as well. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We'll see you in a bit.
Hi guys. So welcome back, and thank you Ashanta for that very entertaining League of Legends match. And we are just heading into the Experience Center. So y'all haven't seen the Experience Center yet on live stream, but of course everyone here has been checking it out. So this is where a lot of the new comers here, the new esports athletes who want to get into gaming, this is where they come and test out what gaming is like, what are the games that are on offer. And right now we see on my right side there's a bunch of people just trying out different games on both sides, and just basically getting a feel of what gaming is all about. We have Most Wanted being played. I'm not sure what this game is though, but we have basically multiple games being played across the PCs, just everyone just getting a feel of what gaming is all about. And of course, for those of you who are just joining in, this is the SLT eSports Championship 2018, hosted for the 4th consecutive year with the largest prize pool in Sri Lanka for an esports event, which is over 1 million plus rupees in cash money. So on my left side, we have the single player area. And right now we are looking at a FIFA match which is taking place between two players, actually 2 matches happening in parallel. And this is where basically, this is another single player title that time and time again we have had a lot of participants. There was one year that we had over 100 odd participants for FIFA. And each and every year it's just been building up in numbers. And it's a single player title, so a lot more players have the ability to play the game just because they don't have to find 4 other players to play with them, and they can improve up alone. And we have seen some really good FIFA players being born in the country when it comes to esports. We just saw a couple of months back, actually, we had a athlete from Sri Lanka, esports athlete from Sri Lanka, represent Sri Lanka in an international tournament which was in Singapore, if I'm not mistaken, and he came up towards the quarterfinals, going up against the best of the best in South Asia. And I mean, it is amazing how far FIFA as a whole has come forward in the country, and the competitiveness has increased over the years. And moving forward, we have Fortnite happening as well. It was introduced new to the SLT eSports Championship, and we'll just take a look at what is happening there. We have a couple of players. Seems to be very crowded here. A lot of people just standing behind, trying to catch a glimpse of the action. So we have one Fortnite match happening and one practice game on the other side. So this is a newly introduced title alongside PUBG Mobile to SLT eSports. And we have had a whopping 100 plus participants, if I'm not mistaken, for Fortnite. For the first time a title, it has been amazing to see the turnout for the game. So basically saying, this title is here to stay. We have a lot of participants. There's a lot of interest in the country for the game, and it seems to be a very fun game to play as well. I personally haven't tried out the game, but by the looks of it, it's a very fun game, and a lot of people seem to be very into it and getting into the competitive stage. I think we have a lot of people switching out from their usual day-to-day games, going into Fortnite and trying